Good afternoon and welcome back to the Football Terrace. Transfer news aplenty for you this evening. And of course, Manchester United have confirmed now the holding statement that we mentioned 2 days ago has not been released by Manchester United Football Club. A deal in principle has been agreed. Of course, signatures are not on paper yet due to the COVID bubble that Sancho and the rest of the England squad find themselves in, which of course we all kind of knew about ahead of time. But he is essentially a Manchester United player. We will be later on talking a little bit about the salary. It's now been revealed by a number of sources, just as we informed you here on the Football Terrace. £250,000 a week is the base, not the 350, 400 printed by some of the rags. We will, of course, take your questions today. We're going to open up the lines to give you, the fans, much more of a say today than we have done in the last few days. Big show tonight at 9 p.m. previewing the quarterfinals of the Europa League as well. And we will be doing the prize draw to reveal the winner of our June football shirt competition. We are going to run the same competition again through July as well. That's everyone who signs up to our membership program and everyone who super chats in over the value of £5. You automatically go into the prize draw to win a shirt of your choice. Any shirt that you want. And you know, we're going to do a special one for July. Name and number on the back as well. The first bit of big news that I want to speak about this afternoon is the Raphael Varane situation. And the reason why I want to talk about this with you is because his link to Manchester United is big. Now, this has gone into overdrive in the last hour because it is practically done now. In fact, it's over the line. It's a done deal, as far as I'm aware, that Sergio Ramos will join Paris Saint-Germain. Now, Paris Saint-Germain were in the market for a new centre-back. They were highly tipped to go after Raphael Varane. They have now signed Sergio Ramos. It is believed to be unlikely that they would sign both Varane and Ramos in the same summer, who they already have with the Kimpembe there, and of course with Marquinhos, two very, very highly rated centre-backs, both in League and across Europe. This opens up the way for Manchester United to move in for this Raphael Varane deal. And there's been a number of sources today, and everyone's kind of played it in different directions. A lot of people that we've spoke to on the terrace in the past few weeks were not sure. Man United were not sure whether or not Raphael Varane really wanted to move to the Prem, to Manchester United. Was he using us for a better deal at Real Madrid? He's refused a new deal at Real Madrid. They are now in negotiations with Man United to sell him. They've had good conversations with the representatives of Raphael Varane, who has repeatedly stated he wants the Prem over Paris Saint-Germain, over any other league in Europe. With Ramos now agreeing to join Paris Saint-Germain, it's opened up the doorway for United to complete this deal. An offer is expected for somewhere between 40 and 50 million pounds as an opening bid to Real Madrid. Personal terms are not going to be a problem. And over the course of the past 12 hours, it is reported that the deal for Raphael Varane to Man United has accelerated with haste. So it's going to be interesting to see how, excuse me. It's going to be interesting to see how this all progresses in the coming evening, maybe the next couple of days. The reason that it's accelerated faster than most people expected was because France essentially left the Euro sooner than anybody else thought they would. So I want to gauge your views. I want to gauge your opinions on Raphael Varane joining Manchester United. Right now, it feels like it could be very, very close indeed. Now, spanners can get thrown into this work. Maybe Chelsea come in all guns blazing with a gargantuan offer. Maybe Real Madrid change their minds and going with an extra £200,000 a week, and Raphael Varane changes his mind. But as it stands right now, Man United are in the driving seat. They're moving forward with pace. The personal terms are not going to be an issue, and they're in negotiations with Real Madrid to try and sign Varane. A big announcement could come at any time soon. I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. Do me a big favor right now and smash the like buttons. Smash the like button right now, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to the Football Terrace as well. We've got some super chats to jump into here as ever on the terrace. Maria Williams says, I hope you are learning that rap, Terry. I'm watching. I have. And I ordered the Lederhosen today. I ordered that. I'll send you a screenshot later. I know you follow me on Instagram, Maria. I will send you a screenshot. That's been ordered. I'll get the wrap done. And of course, we're making that donation to the Bobby Moore Fund. No problems there at all. Big news, if true, is what Nathan has said. And I just need to make sure I'm noting these names down, actually. Maria Williams is first. Let me just write this down. Maria Williams. And then we've got Nathan. I actually wouldn't. How do you pronounce your surname? I don't know how to pronounce that surname, but I've written it down. You both go into that prize draw straight away for the July competition. Thank you. I hope it's true as well. Man like Grant here says Saucy Sancho down the wing, Saucy Sancho crossing it in, Saucy Sancho bossing the wing, Saucy Sancho playing Cavani. I like that. It's a good little tune. And do you know what, Grant? Your name's going into that prize draw as well, my friend. Thank you very, very. I don't actually know why I'm writing it down. It's a long. YouTube provides a long list of all the super chats for every show. I could just use that, couldn't I? Extra work I'm making for myself. I'm being encouraged to go across the social media and check out some updates from some different people. First of all, this is what Fabrizio has said about the Sergio Ramos deal. He says PSG approached Sergio Ramos' agent in January. After opening talks in April, they had been offered him a 2-year contract Sergio always wanted. Sergio will sign until June 2023. Now PSG are planning to announce Hakimi, Ramos, and Donnarumma in the next 15 days. That sounds very, very promising indeed for Manchester United and their pursuit of Raphael Varane. This makes it highly likely they move away from chasing Varane, and it opens that doorway for Manchester United with a lot more. There's a comment that's just come out here that says, this is from journalist at Hurst Class, who says Man United have turned their attention to Raphael Varane following the signing of Jadon Sancho. We knew that. Simon Stone has said here, I want to read this. It says, Sancho is now targeting a central defender as the next part of his recruitment. Contact has been made with Real Madrid about Raphael Varane. There are doubts over whether he will be offered an extension that would meet his demands. And that's kind of been played down a little bit there, of course, by Simon Stone. Whenever he's not overtly negative, but he's putting it in that position. As Pete O'Rourke revealed on the Football Terrace this morning, a new deal has been turned down, I believe, twice now by Raphael Varane. He's told Man United that he wants to sign. We had Daniel Harris on yesterday that was unequivocal in this. And Daniel Harris is such a credible journalist, and I'll tell you why. He doesn't sit here pretending to know about every deal that's going on. He actually came on last night. We planned this 2 days in advance. He was coming on to tell us when Sancho was happening, tell us about the Spurs new manager thing, and Raphael Varane. 2 of those deals got done before we went live. So, of course, there was less news from him last night than we initially anticipated. But I spoke to him again today, and he is unyielding in his belief through what he's been told. He's got a lot of great connections at Man United. Raphael Varane and his representatives at CAA Base, huge London-based agency, have continually told Man United he wants to join. He wants to be a Manchester United player. This looks like it could be a huge deal for Ollie and the Man United faithful. Let's take a look here at some more of your comments. Kieran says, Sancho is a class signing for you guys. Not going to be salty over it. What are the expectations for United next season? Surely League and Champions League run. I'll be honest with you. If we bring in Raphael Varane, there has to be a proper title charge. And I can only give you my interpretation of what a title charge should look like. And for me, it's with 2 games to go, you can win the league. That's a title race, in my opinion. That's a title race. And I would expect that from a squad that we're building. Now, if we lose Martial and we lose Pogba and we don't sign a replacement for Pogba, I'm going to change my mind again. But I think Martial will leave. I think Varane or a top centre-back will come in. We'll get some cover at fullback. We may or may not buy a midfielder, but I'm not overly fussed about that. I think with a world-class centre-back in Harry Maguire, with an even better and even classier, and a higher form of world-class than Maguire next to him in Raphael Varane, defensively, we are going to be so solid next season. So solid. 20% reduction in goals conceded, no doubt. From a forward line point of view, even more balanced than ever before. We're going to get Cavani with a full preseason. We're going to get Ahmad with a full preseason. Hopefully, we can rest and give time for Rashford to have his operation and get his shoulder better. Very, very encouraging times indeed. Kieran, thank you very much there for that super chat. And yeah, I did throw in the Maguire thing being world class just to trigger a few of you. Just to trigger a few of you. Make sure that like button's been hit, people. I'm going to share the link. First of all, I'm always going to pay homage to these guys, our legends and super fan members. I'm going to post a link in our private WhatsApp group that we share together, that we're all in. I'm going to share that in that group now. So if you are watching live and you want to call in, I've shared that link with you. I'm also going to put that link into, of course, the panel WhatsApp group as well, and see if anybody else wants to come on and have their say. Intrigued by it. I'm sorry we were a little bit late going live today, actually. My daughter and my son have both got sickness bugs. So they've been like throwing up everywhere all day. And I was about to go live and Freya just looked at me and, you know, like when you're about to be sick and your mouth goes a bit watery, she had that look and then she was just like, blah, so I had to change, clean her up, tidy the house before I could go live. So apologies there. Ruby Production says, I believe Ollie will not sign a CDM. He is thinking of converted Bay or Lindelof if he gets Varane. I've not heard that rumor, Ruby. I've not heard that rumor, but we'll see how that one plays out over the course of time. This all sounds too good to be true with Varane, Terry. Michael, I agree. Something about this don't feel right, and that's because it's Man United. Can you imagine? And this is me speaking as a fan here. I'm waiting on two updates from two very credible journalists. One who is based, he does a lot of work, a lot of journalistic work in France. The other is UK based, and they are tip top in terms of their knowledge. I'm waiting for updates from both of them about Varane. I trust their judgment. Equally, though, I trust what I've been told from Daniel Harris. I trust what I've been told from Peter O'Rourke. I trust a number of sources that are out there. I'm just waiting for even further confirmation about this. But it does feel like right now, Varane is convinced Man United that he truly wants to join. That was the sticking point a couple of weeks ago. United thought maybe we're being led down the garden path again. It doesn't appear to be that way as of right now. I'm also going to share the link if you want to call in. I'm going to put it in the Discord server as well. Now, we're going to put it in the general chat. So I'm going to post that over there now. If you want to go to our Discord server, if you want to come on and have your say, that link has been shared there as well. I want to do some more of your comments that are coming through. My guy Sharek in the house says people don't realize with Varane, it automatically means we don't need a McFred as well as will be more solid. Yeah, I agree with that. And look, I think Man United have got ideals of Ndidi. I think Man United would love a Declan Rice. They're not available this summer. Their clubs are asking for colossal money. And it's a case of I would actually rather wait a year to be able to afford Declan Rice than buy someone who's not as good. Remember, though, Man United are talking to Ruben Neves' people. There is an opportunity for Man United to sign Ruben Neves. Work is going on in relation to that. Let's have a look at a few more of these comments here that are coming through. Paul Scholes, one of our members, says Ramos has signed for PSG, so Varane has two options, staying at Real Madrid or going somewhere else. Well, there we go. Is that a done deal now? Is that been confirmed? I mean, I saw it from Fabrizio. I saw it from Mohamed. I'll never pronounce his name right. I think it's Mohamed Bafazi from France. It seems that they have both confirmed that news this afternoon. And if true, it's nothing but brilliant news for Manchester United. It really is. It appears to clear that path. There's a comment here. There's an update here as well from Mark Ogden from ESPN, who says that Real Madrid are holding out for a bit more than what Man United want to pay for Varane. Madrid were hoping that PSG would come in for Varane and create an auction, but the French side look like they are going to sign Ramos. That's what he said a little bit earlier on today, and that's also what's true. In fairness, Varane's side tried to make Man United believe others were about to bid to force them along. They want to get this deal done very, very quickly. Man United have gone in with an offer in and around the region of around £40 million, I believe. Real Madrid want nearer to 60. They'll probably meet somewhere in the middle. There's going to be some negotiations that go on. But as far as it stands right now, all roads seem to lead to Manchester United. And I just want to know how Man United fans would feel if this deal went through. I also want to know how rivals would feel if this deal indeed does go through. I've got a member comment here from Harrison who says, Terry, remember when we were told we couldn't attract world-class players when we'll sorry, when will rivals and United haters just learn that we are absolutely massive and the idea of playing for United is irresistible? It's definitely irresistible to some. I think the biggest people in the mud are the Ollie outers that said he couldn't attract stars. If we're able to land Varane and Sancho in the same summer, that's two potential and world-class players in one summer. It's gargantuan. Absolutely gargantuan. Gargantuan. Thank you very much here to my guy Abs for signing up and becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. That means a great deal to us here. It really, really does. We're going to go and start going to some calls now. I want to know what people are thinking. I want to know what people are feeling in relation to this deal. We're going to get Red Devil on next, United fan from France. It's been a while since we spoke. Welcome, Terrace, my friend. Please give me your thoughts. Raphael Varane, one of your fellow countrymen, potentially joining Man United.
I'm not French, by the way. I'm not French, but I live in France.
You sound French. I thought you were French with the Lorette.
Yeah.
There we go. Where are you from, sir? Where are you from?
I was born in Mauritius, but I've been living in France for like 7 years now.
Okay. But Varane, he's French. What's the news saying in France right now about this deal?
About Varane, we've been talking this morning on TF1 and L'Équipe as well. L'Équipe, which is a sports channel, they were saying that Varane could be going to Manchester United. That they were still talking. Nothing advanced yet. Pretty much what has been said in England as well. I don't think they're saying he won't sign a new deal with Madrid, and it would be more. He'd be interested in going in to the Premier League, but at the time being, he's on holiday as well, just like Pogba. So we don't know really if it's going to be done soon or not, especially knowing how the Glazers work out. But I'm very excited about it, but I can't believe it. Till it's done, I won't believe it.
Mate, I actually hear you on that. As much as I've got, through our work here at the Terrace now, a lot of direct contacts with some very, very credible journalists and people that are told things. The fan in me is like, it's great. It sounds good, but I need to see it confirmed before I get overtly excited. But let's just say it happens. Let's live in the hypothetical world for a minute. Sancho and Raphael Varane in one summer. In your opinion, how highly do you rate that as a transfer window?
I'd say 5 over 10, 6 over 10. We need that CDM, man. We definitely need that CDM. I can't be going in another season watching McFred again. They just don't have the level to win something. Premier League, Champions League. We don't have the level. We need NDD, Canute, not Canute, the one from not Canute, NDD, Rice. There's another one from Brighton. What's his name? Bissouma. I'd love Bissouma, man. I'd love him.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Man United are talking to Neves. Bissouma could be an outside chance. Do you know what will be interesting, though, financially, is this? Man United, if we land Varane, let's say we get him for 50 mil. Let's just round it up to 50 million pounds. That's 120 million pounds spent on two players. Highly likely, as it stands right now, that United will try to sell Anthony Martial. They're going to raise 40 to 50 million pounds from him. It may give United that scope for 50, 60 million pounds for a midfielder. If we were to land a good midfielder, let's leave names out of it. If we sign a very good midfielder, Varane and Sancho, would you then expect this Man United team to challenge for titles?
Challenge, yeah. I'd say challenge. Yeah, definitely. But the other question as well is, does Pogba stay? That's another question.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why Man United are being sensible in not rushing into signing any midfielder, because Pogba leaving changes the type of player maybe you look for or prioritize. So, you don't want to spend too much money or whatnot chasing a defensive midfielder, and then Pogba says, I'm leaving. And it's like, oh, now we need to put a lot of it, like replacing Pogba would then become a bigger priority than a CDM. Maybe we're waiting to see what Pogba does. If Pogba leaves, maybe we take the Pogba money and we pump that into buying the best one of the best CDMs in the world. And I think we just need to be patient. Once we know what Pogba's doing, I think that the CDM element will become clear. My brother, listen, thank you very much for coming on the show and having your say as ever. Top man. Thank you very much for your support. There's a comment here from Sharik. He's quoted what Mohammed Wasfasi has said, that I think Man United are going all in for Raphael Varane, and maybe, just maybe, we are going to be doing that this summer window. What else do you want to see? Thank you very much, Jason Toon, for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. And by the way, Abs, who signed up earlier, became an official legendary member of the Terrace. If you're a legend member, if you go to the community page on YouTube, you will find in one of our posts the link to joining the WhatsApp group. It's officially posted there for you to come along and have your say. Thank you, Jason, for signing up to our membership program as well. It means a great deal to us. All of your names, will go into the prize draw to win a shirt of your choice. I want to do some more calls here. Next on the show, I'm going to bring on a Chelsea fan. Abs is back with us. What you saying, bro?
Oh, God, Manchester United going out and making moves, When's the last time this been happening? I said it for a while, Terry. Man United are basically a sleeping giant. They've always, because, the size of club history, the amount of money they've got, they should really be spending this money anyway, because you've got the resources to, but you've been held back for different reasons altogether. So, yeah, I can't be sorry. I love Jadon Sancho personally. I won't hate on him. I won't boo him if he plays against us or scores against us. He's a fantastic player. And, yeah, just congratulations on signing him. And I think an element of me does think that this is partly some way of the Glazers trying to make amends for what happened with the whole Super League thing. And what I think, I'm not saying it necessarily will happen, but what could end up happening is this summer, for example, Man United go out big. And they go out, and I mean big in terms of going to sign, for instance, Varane, Rice, Sancho, and let's just say, Camavinga, just to throw it in there. And then next summer they stall and they don't sign anyone up until the last few days of the window and get someone like a Cavani for free. Not saying that Cavani's dead, but just, that's the only concern I probably have with this summer going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised Man United are reacting to what happened in the summer, because they have to get fans on side. Look at the way they went for sponsors and everything else. They'll want a reaction on that. And listen, whatever their motivation, if we're signing Varane's and Sancho's, a midfielder of the same sort of quality, you're not going to hear me complain. It's going to take a long, long time for me to forgive the Glazers, if I ever could. I see a lot of people today saying, what about Glazer out still? They still push it. It was trending today. Yeah, and I stand by that. I'm still not willing to buy merchandise. I'm still not willing to put any of my money into the football club. But maybe a year or two of behaving in this manner, and I'll say, okay, well, I will now support the club's endeavors because you're trying to make us the best team possible on a football pitch. And that's the most important thing. If they continue to listen and go and use the changes that the likes of Ollie and Myrtle and Fletcher have implemented in the way we operate, great. Of course, I saw people getting really weirded by it today. And, you do realize Woodward and Matt Judge are still involved. The Glazers are still there. Yeah, absolutely. We are not getting rid of the Glazers. It's almost impossible to make them sell. It's then the compromise. This is the point of, I was part of unions for years. This is the point of strike action. You may not get exactly what you idealistically want, but then you compromise down. If we're going to have the Glazers run the club, at least run it to the best of our ability. We've spent enough money in the past 8 years to be Premier League and Champions League champions. We've just spent it on the wrong people. The structure's been poor. I sometimes feel like, again, this polarization of this country and the world it frazzles my brain sometimes, where I just think, we know that these people are still in charge, but if they run the club well, or at least better, at least we will yield more results like we want. And it's staggering to me the way that's it's almost, again, the ones that are being negative about all of this are, again, the ones that they tend to have things in their profiles like hashtag Ollie out. Maybe they're getting a little bit worried or concerned that United might do a little something next year and they're going to have to apologize. I hope I have to apologize for doubting Ollie. And that's why I'm so desperate for this to go through. There's a comment here I want to read out. Actually, some breaking news from the Times. The Times have said Real Madrid's contract proposal to Raphael Varane involves taking a pay cut, which he is not willing to accept. That's interesting. That's from the Times. That ain't clickbait when it's the Times, bruv. Do you know what I mean? That's one of them big newspapers that you need like swan-like arms to read. Pay cut if Raphael Varane wants to stay at Real Madrid. There's no way he's taking a pay cut at 28 years of age. Varane is red. I'm just saying that now. I'm saying Varane is red. And suddenly, if we sign him, Man United have the best centre-back in the Premier League.
Ooh, you sure? What about Thiago Silva?
Thiago Silva is very good, but he's what? Is he 62, 63?
Oh, come on. You can't diss him. Thiago Silva is the best Milan team to ever play the game. Champions League winner. You already know this.
Hang on. Yes, he's a Champions League. How many Champions Leagues on the bounce did Raphael Varane win?
3.
It's just a joke, bro. It's just a joke. Anyway, listen, both our clubs have top centre-backs. Abs, thanks for coming on and having your say, mate. Top man. Thank you. Next up, we're going to have a Man United fan. We're going to get Brian, original cast member of the Football Terrace. And when I say cast member, I don't mean he's an actor, like a lot of people accuse us fan channels of having. Get your super chats in. Get your membership signed up as well. Big things coming this season on the Football Terrace. But next with us, Brian, all the way from the United States of America. Sir, how are you?
I'm doing well, Terry. How about yourself?
I'm very, very well, my friend. I'm very, very well indeed. Give me your reaction to this Varane news that comes less than 24 hours after confirming Sancho as a Man United player.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things. Number one, I didn't realize that Manchester United could move so quickly, considering that they just typically haven't done that in the past. So that's encouraging to see. It's almost as if the subsequent failures on the pitch over the last few seasons, marked with the pressure of the protests, have kind of moved the Glazers in a position where they need to take what's happening on the field more seriously than they have in the past. So that can only be positive from a Manchester United fan's perspective. But I mean, the profile of Raphael Varane is the type of player that Manchester United should be trying to sign all the time. So for me, this is exciting, but it's more or less like it's a minimum expectation. It's not impossible for Manchester United to sign multiple top quality class players in the summer. They should be doing it. We just haven't been in the past. We've been spending money in the wrong places. And this season, it looks as if we're trying to get the right profile of player and the right level of quality of player in the positions where we need strengthening the most. So doesn't necessarily change how I feel about the Glazers, but this is incredibly positive, and I hope that the talks continue to advance at a good rate and we bring Varane in before the season starts.
I couldn't agree with you more, Brian. And it's, again, what you'll find again from certain United fans is, well, what about the Glazers? Yeah, we know. We don't even need to say it on every stream that we're still against them. We're still not happy with them. But it's a case of, well, you're doing the right thing now. We'll reassess our emotions towards you at the end of the season. You know, for me, it's a case of a 2 or 3 year process of, are you sticking to this plan of action that Ollie and his team have put in place over the past 18 months, 2 years? If they do, then I'll at least get off their backs. I'll at least put money back towards it. The other side of it is, again, you'll get rivals say, oh, I thought you said you had bad owners. It's like, bruv, they run the club terribly since they took over from a financial standpoint, bleeding money out the club. It got even worse after David Gill and Fergie left because they put the wrong people in charge and didn't change things sooner. All those things don't change because now they start doing a good job. Do you get what I'm saying, mate? It's like, at the end of the day, like, if I don't know, if I get a builder in, I get a plumber in, all right, to fit a new bathroom, and it leaks first time, and it leaks second time, and it leaks the third time. First question is, why am I still using the same bloody plumber, right? Mm-hmm. If he does it the fourth time and it's not leaking, I'm not going to give him a brilliant review on trustatrader.com. I'm still going to say he was pretty shit. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, but thank you for fixing it this time around. That's how I sort of feel towards him, no doubt. And you're right as well. This is the profile of player we should be looking at. And the fact that the one thing I would say is this, you know my stance on Ollie. I'm not overtly positive towards him. But the message this is even sending to me, I don't care what anyone else thinks. Raphael Varane is willing to play for Ollie. Sancho is willing to play for Oli. Reports today that Sancho was on Rashford's case. Can you do something? Can you help speed this along? I want to come and play for you. Pogba might leave. He might change his mind and stay. If he does, he's staying to play for Oli. Martial's on the chopping block this summer, but he's fighting tooth and nail to get fitter and stronger because he wants to remain at this club. Cavani has agreed to stay for an extra year and play for Oli. Like, you start going through it and you say to yourself, are we wrong? Is there something going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to? Like, at the end of the day, like, all these class players want to play for him. I mean, is there something in that? Again, our view was he won't be able to attract world-class players. He's doing that in abundance. They want to stay at Man United. So for me, I want these players in so we get to the end of the debate and then we really see how good we are as a football club. Brian, top man, thank you very much for coming on as ever and having your say. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much indeed. KJ to come on very soon, but I want to do some of your comments here. Blue Viper, one of our members and a City fan, says, Ferguson's fault the Glazers are there in the first place. He's fallout with the previous owners over a racehorse, whiskey nose, harassing them, so they sold up. I mean, it's a stretch, bro, but you're a rival, so you're meant to do that, I suppose. Terry, stop looking backwards. The Glazers are trying. Absolutely. But it's when the trying yields results and then they continue in that mold that I'll start to change my mind. Someone here says, stop the foolishness with Martial's name. It's blinded vision. 3 across the top, exchanging positions. Rashford, Martial, Sancho, Cavani coming in off the bench, full stop. Wesley, if you watch my channel, then you know how much I personally like Anthony Martial. But a number of credible journalists that are very close to Man United have said he's next on the chopping block. He's behind Cavani. It seems like he's going to be behind behind Greenwood next season. He also wants to play as the striker. So this, you've got Anthony Elanga coming through that Man United are very fond of. He's probably going to get a loan move, but they want a place for him in a year's time. Ahmad they want to develop this year. Highly likely to stay. Sancho's come in, who can play left and right. We know Rashford, whether I like it or you like it, is irrelevant. Rashford plays in front of Martial when everybody's fit. So it's likely that he's going to be sold this year if the right money comes in. If no one offers the right money for him or wants to take his salary because a year loan option is also available, then he'll stay. But as it stands right now, Anthony Martial could be leaving Manchester United. Lion, hello to you as one of our members here. KJ to come on the show very, very soon. Before that, we're going to get... I wonder if Donny James can come on and not mention Doncaster for a show. Do you reckon he can go? Do you reckon he could do that? Do you reckon that's possible for him? I don't know. Or would he like spontaneously combust? Is what I wonder. Man like Aaron, a.k.a. Donny James, a.k.a. the roller coaster, a.k.a. the heartbreak kid is here. What you saying, bro?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. You know what? First of all, I never really applaud United and the owners, but what they're doing with Sancho and what they're going to be doing with Varane is nothing short of astonishing. I think you see Chelsea fans even looking at this saying, well, hang on a second here. They're seriously doing some bare bits. Look, I think, first of all, Sancho for United is I said it in past streams, he's a world-class player, world-class addition for United. I think Varane as well, adding to that defence. And to be fair, I saw an interesting tweet from the Fantasy Premier League that says Dean Henderson's predicted to get a lot more clean sheets and shot stops next season. And some people are actually saying, well, it's because Varane and Maguire is going to protect him. If Henderson plays more than De Gea, or the same as De Gea, I think Varane and Maguire were protecting more than Lindelof and Maguire. So I think Varane overall is a pretty good signing as well, especially for the price we're talking about. I did hear about Ramos. I can say that for sure. That is confirmed, medical being done. He will be a PSG player. So Pochettino has no excuse for not winning the Champions League now. He's got to get at least the final. I think that it's a weird one for me with United because I'm happy with Sancho, I'm happy with Varane. Where I think they need to invest now to make this a complete window is a defensive midfielder, a CDM. Now, whether that means offering Lingard and money to get Declan Rice, whether that's getting Camavinga, whether that's getting someone else, Well, that's getting someone Premier League proven. You know, I think it's going to be a watch to see exactly who United's going to target in that position, whether they do target someone in that position, because I don't think many United fans would want to see McTominay and Fred. But the thing with McTominay and Fred is, I think Solskjaer will give them a chance. And if they don't turn up, then the CDM will be the priority in January or next season. That's just the way I'm thinking with that, because the thing with McTominay and Fred is, where McTominay works best is making forward runs past Bruno Fernandes, as well as dropping back and doing the assurity work. And I think Fred operates in the same way, but he's not being played in the same way. So I feel like they're being played as CDMs, but not box-to-box midfielders, holding midfielders, which I feel like is their best role. So I think if they get played the right way, not as CDMs, but as holding midfielders at box-to-box role, then we'll see better out of them, but we'll still see whether a CDM is the priority or not. So I think with that kind of situation, I would like to bring in a CDM, maybe not this 50, 60 million pound player, but someone of an assured price, like a 20, 30 million pound player, maybe. Someone for the first team, but can still drop out and Fred comes in for a bit or McTominay comes in for a few games. So just to give someone that competition and give both of them that competition. But overall for United, pretty good. Pretty good.
I totally agree, mate. Listen, Donny, thank you very much for coming on and having your say.
Donny, didn't speak about it.
I know. Brilliant. Brilliant. It's good to see. It's good to see. All the best, PTC, top man. Thank you. We've got ads to come on. We've got Canadian Cam to come on. But first, KJ is here and in the house. Bro, Raphael Varane reportedly moving closer. PSG have just signed or agreed a deal with Ramos, so they're not looking at another centre-back. Real Madrid have said they're not offering him a new deal without him taking a pay cut. It's looking very positive right now. Give me your thoughts, mate.
What the hell's going on? This is not the same United that I know and I love, isn't it? What is this? What is this? This is absolutely insane. Right, where to start with this? It's great news. Like, I didn't expect the Varane news to speed up so quickly straight after signing Jadon Sancho. I probably would have waited for a little bit. Maybe Varane goes on holiday, and then boom, the news started coming out. But one after another is very mad. And you can. There's a part of me and a part of Man United fans where they're skeptical. Is this just news to keep the gas going, to keep Man United fans on the hype train, but then end up with egg on our face and not actually get him? I don't know, but the signs are good. The reports coming out are good, and Raphael Varane is a centre back we've needed for a while. Eric Bailly has proved that he can't be as reliable as we want him to be, and someone like Varane is someone who needs to come in to partner Maguire or if someone wants Lindelof there, then whoever. But he needs to be in our defence, and that's what we need to see. And I'm just looking forward to hopefully seeing this football club perform how it should be, how it should do. And there's a report that came out earlier today or yesterday that said the reason why the Glazers are pushing so hard for this, for like the Sanchos, for the Varanes, is because they realize that they can't do the Super League no more. So they've accepted the fact that, oh crap, now we actually have to make us a good footballing team and a super force on the field. And I hope people realize that what we've been saying is true. Like, this exposes them for what they've been doing. They have been holding us back. They have been making sure that we don't do too much to go and become champions. They've been happy with fourth, been happy with Champions football, because we could have been doing this. We could have been doing this, and it is Glazers out to the day that I die, and that, you know what I'm saying. So people saying, "Oh, Man United fans, they're now Glazers in because of two signings." No, this exposes them even more, and rival fans, they're saying that because they're salty, bro, because they know it's peak.
Absolutely, and I'm sorry to interject, KJ. Some breaking news has just come in. I'm going to do my best to play it. I'm not too sure if the sound will come through. It might even be in French, to be fair, if I play it.
Ramos et le PSG, c'est bon.
It's French, so I'm not going to play it. But Mohamed Bouffassi, who's one of the tier 1 French journalists live on television, has said Manchester United will go all in for Raphael Varane. Is also confirmed in the same sort of process that PSG will no longer be looking at him after signing Sergio Ramos, and they were the big competition. I suppose the only sticking point still to this is whether or not Chelsea now come in hard as well, because Chelsea were actually making more inroads into the inquiries 2 months ago, more so than Manchester United were. So that's why I believe, you said about Man United, the news coming out, and it's like Man United are acting, maybe it's to keep the buzz going. I think it's more to do with United want to get this deal done quickly so that they stop anyone else getting involved. Yeah, Raphael, if you get where I'm coming from, it appears what they're trying to do.
I could be that. And if we get this deal done and we deal it done, we say within the next 2 weeks, because let me just be realistic, I'm gonna sit here and say Murtaugh is the Don, bro, because there's clearly a difference, and I've seen some messages from a Discord group, and I'm assuming it's the Muppeteers, but I could be mistaken. It seemed like their format, but they're speaking how Murtaugh's come in. He's trying to change the way that we do transfer business. That he's trying to be more aggressive in the market, get what we need. Don't worry too much about, we have to sell to buy first. Don't miss out on targets just because the budget may not be there right now. Go and secure these targets and make sure we get them early. So especially the young players as well. So that's why Camavinga's someone who'd come up. It's kind of like, here's a deal that is to be had for a quality young player. Why are we not going to go do it? So, yeah, if we get this Varane deal over the line, and if we do end up getting a midfielder like is slowly starting to be suggested that we're going to do, Murtaugh and Fletcher, yeah, bruv, them men are proving people wrong, and I'm one of them, and I'm happy that it's happening.
And do you know what's interesting about that train of thought is this? A lot of people I've seen tweets all day, but the money men are still there. The money men have always been good at making money. They understand the financial element of it. Like Woodward, I know he's leaving, right? But Woodward should just have been left in charge of the money the whole time. It's the football men and women maintaining the relationships with other clubs. Darren Fletcher, I know he isn't like fashionable like some people think, but I'm telling you, Premier League, Champions League winner, understands the game, analytical mind, educated. When he walks into rooms or phones up and speaks to other football people, there's instant credibility there. There just simply is. And Myrtle's very well respected in the game as well. It's helped. It's absolutely helped. There is no doubt about it whatsoever. We're going to bring Ads and we're going to bring Cam in to have their say as well. Everyone who's tuning in, do us a big favor on the Football Terrace this afternoon and smash that like button. Let's get this past 500 likes while we are live on the air. Canadian Cam is here. Man like Ads is here as well. I want to go to Ads first on this. Give me your thoughts and feelings on this news. A reported deal for somewhere in the region of 40 to 50 million pound for Raphael Varane.
I think if we do it, it's money well spent, to be honest. I think it's one of the best signings that we've had in years. And I'll be very, very happy for Raphael to come to Manchester United. He's quality. He's proven that he can play at top level. And I think he's a perfect fit. I think, obviously, the gas is just high level right now. So obviously, it's either just trying to please the fans or actually get there before many other clubs. Obviously, Chelsea are also in contention to get him. But I just think we need to go in, nab him as soon as possible before anyone else does.
Absolutely. How about yourself, Cam? I mean, you have the same train of thought.
Yeah, man. So I basically, the way I've been looking at it is, I kept saying I wanted Pau Torres because I didn't believe we could get Varane. And I'm still wondering, is he using us for a contract? But if he's not and he really wants to come, then that's the perfect signing for us. And it kind of just really lays into the whole Ollie philosophy that we've been seeing since he came in. He identified, the first set of players he identified were he wanted young British players that were hungry and wanted to play for United. So he went after Maguire. He went after Aaron Wan-Bissaka. It was in an article. He outlined Jack Grealish. Remember everybody saying Jack Grealish for 60 million. That's insane. Now what? Right? He identified these players a long time ago, and I truly believe that when I look at the sport of football, it's different than other sports with the manager position. It's not just people say he's not a great coach. Cool, but he's clearly a good manager who's understood and what we need and what identified players that are Manchester United players. You had coaches come in who may have been better, like Louis van Gaal and Jose, but they went and got players for their system. Ollie's buying players for Manchester United. Varane, it doesn't matter if Ollie's here next year. If Varane comes in, Sancho here, it doesn't matter if Ollie's here next year. Any manager will love these players. So I'm super excited. If we get Varane for 40, 50 million, that's the perfect buy because we're not a selling club. So I don't care if there's any resale value. 4 or 5 years, cool. You got him in his prime. like the thing is, we've tried the whole go and get defenders and see if they can grow into something with Lindelof, with Bailly. It didn't work. So now you need to get the finished product, because with Maguire there, who is basically what he is, you have to build around him. You spent the 80 million on him, so you have to go get a pacey defender who's a proven leader and winner. All the leadership was put on Maguire in that back four. Let's be honest. Like, he came in and it was like, you now go lead everything. Varane coming in, there's another voice. There's another person there who's won something. Who now it's no longer just Harry Maguire. People say like, oh, Bruno should be the captain. I have no problem with Maguire being captain. It's more he needs help. He can't do it by himself. Let's be honest, he's never really been in that position before he came to United. It was thrust upon him. So now he's going to have another voice back there. We're going to have two strong center backs if we get them. It's beautiful. I'm excited.
Yeah. We are going to have two strong center backs if we get this deal through. And I think even more so than that, it's that pacing behind, that covering pace. We saw it against Germany the other day with Kyle Walker in a back. And that was a back three. It's slightly different. But the covering pace from Kyle Walker enables Maguire to relax and play his game. He's one of the best defensive duelers in the game, that coming out early and challenging a player. So stepping out and challenging someone from behind. He's brilliant driving forward with the ball. But if he does get caught in possession, or he makes the pass and the midfielder loses it, we've been getting caught in behind this season. Why? Because we have no pace. And if we want to push our fullbacks forward, there's literally no pace, because you've got Lindelof covering it or McTominay, and Fred isn't particularly quick. With Raphael Varane, we have a lot more speed. We have a lot more agility in that area. So it gives us so many more strings to our bows. I want to ask you all a question. I want to go to KJ first on this. I'm seeing a lot of people stating Sancho's great. Varane, great. Keeping Pogba's great. But basically, it's a trash window if we don't sign a CDM. Do you believe it is a trash window if we don't sign a CDM? Or do you think some people are just continuing to be negative? KJ, what's your thoughts?
It's not a trash window if we don't get a CDM, because I believe that if we get Varane in, that the quality of CDM that we need to get now drops to the point where, could you play Fred and McTominay there anywhere? I'm not saying both of them at the same time, but just one of them. Could you play them there now, because you've got the recovery speed and recovery pace and just the great world-class defending from Varane? Will it be a 10 out of 10? No, because obviously the CDM would make it top window. But to say that it'll be a trash window without a CDM, no matter if we get Varane and if Pogba signs, it's just being a bit hyperbolic, isn't it? Like, I get that you'll be disappointed, but if it was a CDM that you didn't want or didn't like, you'll be saying it's trash anyway. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some people, until it's exactly what they want, they're just not going to be happy. So, me personally, if we get Varane, if we get, obviously we've got Jadon Sancho now, if Paul Pogba signs a new contract, I'll say that's an 8.5. To push that to a 10 would be a quality DM that suits our team and can fulfill the role that we need him to do.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Interesting, there's some more stuff that's come out in the last 4 or 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. So this is via the Times as well. This is a source has told them that Real Madrid may be willing to do a deal in the region of £43 million with some add-ons attached, probably taking the deal up to around £50 million for that. An account that a lot of people rate, I think it's H. Grimes, has said that Raphael Varane to Man United will be announced soon. Let's see how that one kind of translates. You have got a few more Manchester-based or closer people to the club who are a little bit different. Their take is very much, it's progressing slowly. Everyone relax. There's still a lot to do, especially Simon Stone. But I'm a little bit like when Simon Stone he's
negative,
or he's a little bit less encouraging than other journalists. I tend to have a feeling that it could be coming true. I'd love to pose that previous question, though, to Ads. Why do you think there's still a lot of negativity from Man United fans, even though the Sancho is brilliant and Varane seems like a massive deal? Why do you still think there's an air of negativity towards not the club? They're not really having a go at the Glazers or the way the club's run or Woodward. It's to this team. The team still isn't good enough. It isn't great. McTominay is still going to play, so it's still going to be trash. Why do you agree with them? What's your take on it?
I agree with them to a certain extent because I think at one point we've all had to suffer with that pivot in the midfield. I know in my opinion, I think Fred and McTominay are both good players by themselves. However, together it's just an inconsistent train wreck. Honestly, it's honestly a mess. So I feel like with that DM, when you picture Sancho, who's a proven quality winger, you have Varane, who's a proven winner, and then you get that DM, it just feels like the cherry's just been put on the top of the cake, right? When you think of those three things coming in, it's glory Man United back together again. But without it, it does feel like there's still a piece missing to the puzzle. So I do understand. However, to say it's a trash window is a joke. I don't agree with it at all. I think it's just overreactionary. However, there are so many partnerships that can potentially work that we have right now. Like, look, we have Varane from France, you have Pogba from France. You put Pogba in that pivot, if he signs a new contract, he'll have that that connection with Varane, obviously, because they're from the same country. And I feel like you have quality, you have Van der Beek, you have Fred, you stick them in there together, you mix it up. If a partnership doesn't work, you switch around the next game. I'd say we need a DM. However, if we don't get one, I won't be too upset because there's still so much more we can do until we clinch onto that top DM.
And you know what's interesting is we say top DM. Think like if we get Varane, I don't know if you need one. Not for every game. And the reason I say that is this. Fergie used to say you can carry one player in the team and you don't notice that their level's lower, right? So if you've got De Gea in goal, Luke Shaw's become one of the best left backs in the league. AWB, we know how good he's going to become and how good he already is. Varane and Maguire next to each other. We'll go through the attack here. We'll bypass the middle for a minute. Cavani is the striker with the backup being Greenwood. Sancho on the right, Rashford on the left. You've got Martial as backup and Madders backup. Bruno is the main number 10. Pogba in that double pivot. Okay, but more advanced. Yeah. I kind of think with all those players, Fred and McTominay can do okay. I don't necessarily look at it and think that one player that isn't of the same standard as everybody else in that team is going to drag us down because we won Premier League with world-class players in our team, but with Wes Brown starting at right back. Yeah. Do you understand where I'm coming from? We've done it before where Michael Carrick was playing in midfield with Tom Cleverley and Anderson and we were winning Premier League titles. 40-year-old gigs. Like, I'm not saying we shouldn't buy one, but I think it's, and again, by the way, we did that with Fergie as manager, right? I'm completely aware that no matter what you think of Ollie, there's an Ollie tax when you compare him to when you compare him to Fergie. Of course, I'm not aware of that, but I do feel like I don't think the midfield, when we're more balanced in our attack, when Pogba can actually sit deeper and be the creative playmaker that we've seen from him, when you've got a proper solid back line, I don't think that double pivot of Fred and McTominay will play as regularly, and I don't think it will be exposed as often. Cam, what's your take? How important do you think signing a top quality CDM is this summer as well?
It depends, right? So I've just bought into the whole rebuilding process, right? So I guess I would look at it this way. Like, I've seen you mentioning Neves. I've been talking about Neves for like 2 years. I'd love to see him at United. But here's my question is, like, when I think about it, if we were to wait a year, would that then mean Declan Rice is nailed on, right? Would that, if we were patient like we were with Sancho, knowing what the price is for Declan Rice is this year, would we all have the patience to be like, whatever, we can throw Scott or Fred in there and then guarantee we get Declan Rice next year because we would have those funds available? Again, I get people saying, oh, there's the funds, whatever. We know they're not going to spend that much. I kind of agree with you, and I get what KJ's saying too. It's like when you have the center backs there, it's no longer, the cover's not as necessary. There's a lot of people who think Scott can do the job of Declan Rice. I don't agree. So if you wait a year and then you get that exact player you need versus just going to get maybe anybody, whereas like I would be happy with almost any like midfielder just because I think we need more midfielders that can pass. But I hear what you're saying. Like, I don't think we need a top quality CDM this year if we're for sure going to get our guy next year. If that's the case, like if we're 100%, that's the position, because every year so far since Ollie's been here, we filled in specific roles. We went defense first year. We then this next year, we kind of got striker. I think COVID really messed things up, if we're going to be honest. And now right wing. If we go CDM, that's it. That's the final piece.
I think, KJ, let me pose that question to you. you kind of said earlier that if we pull off these deals we're looking at, you're looking at Myrtle and Fletcher, the way they're running our transfer strategy, and it's like, you know, they're doing a great job. Would that make you more relaxed that, okay, we'll go in next year and get the number 1 or number 2 target for that area because they're not available or they're asking for silly money this year? Would it make you more relaxed?
Yeah, it would be. I especially if they brought in a midfielder who may be the stopgap, maybe on loan or even thinking ahead. So they're bringing Camavinga, knowing that he's here for cover this year. We still go out and get the DM that we want next year, but we still got Camavinga here, developing, learning what it means to play for Man United. Like, yeah, I would be more relaxed. I personally right now just need to see the midfielder come in, and then I feel I'll be completely relaxed. But if it is Declan Rice or Ndidi or whoever it is, Verratti, we'll just say they're just throwing a name out there. Doesn't mean we actually want him, but we only can get them next year. If a CM comes in, I'll be cool. I'll be like, all right, cool. That these guys know what they're doing. Let me just chill.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Jayling's fam here with a super chat says, Terry, Ollie loves McFred, doesn't want a CDM. Well, it certainly isn't his priority. That's been reported by multiple sources. Sancho and a centre-back were cover at right back. I think he has faith in his midfield. I think maybe he sees something we don't. Sometimes in life, I remember years back, a lot of United fans kicking off about our central defence, and that was, Rio and Vidic are too old. And a lot of us said it's our midfield's the leaky thing, and it's putting them out of position. We signed a few, we improved that midfield area, and suddenly our centre backs looked a hell of a lot better. I kind of feel like that's the case. That's the kind of case here, you know. And I think that maybe in this regard, though, if we actually had some better defenders and we have a more balanced attack, we can cater. And I do think, though, because we have, that's what I would say about loving them. This is what the facts are. Man United have made inquiries into West Ham about Declan Rice. They have made inquiries into Declan Rice's team to see whether or not he would be willing to leave London, because the talk was he'd only play for Chelsea. This is cap. This isn't true. He would play for Man United. He would play for Liverpool. He would play for Manchester City. He would play for Chelsea. He would go to one of these clubs if the deal is right for him. But it's that £100 million asking price. And I think what fans have got to realize is until we know what's happening with Martial, until we know what's happening with Lingard, until we know what's happening with Paul Pogba, United are going to have to hang fire on that one, because they don't have the money to drop £100 million, £80 million, maybe even £60 million on a CDM right now. And a little bit of patience is definitely going to be required in relation to that. A comment here from Russell says £80 million on a centre-back. Now another centre-back is required, and you sack Jose for saying you need a centre-back. See, Russell, come on, bro. I nearly snapped there. Jose didn't get sacked for saying he needed another centre-back. They didn't buy him another centre-back because of the way he was behaving. Let's get the facts around the right way. It's like you're not telling the truth in the story. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, your kid's 15 years old and you send them to bed without their dinner. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you were so nasty to your kid last night. Are you forgetting that the kid pulled his sister's hair out in a scrap they had earlier on in the day? You can't ignore the reason they're in their room with no dinner. Do you get what I mean? Like, that's a madness to me. Do you know what I mean? I didn't give you dinner and I grounded him. It's like he pulled his sister's hair out. It's not a true story.
The thing is, Ollie was smart, man. He watched what Jose did and watched what he shouldn't do. Keep your mouth shut, you'll get your targets eventually. Like Jose basically just pissed everybody off to the point where you're like, you know, you can just leave, man. That's what it felt like. Everybody, fans, you could just, if we felt like that, imagine what the organization felt like. They were probably just like, all right, dude, it's cool. You can go. Yeah. We'll get somebody else in who will at least maybe fall. I get people calling him a puppet, but like, look what he's done in the trade. Like, all he has no pull has to go away at this stage, right? If we get Varane, that's done.
And we're also forgetting that the Glazers are still pagans, fam. So as much as, yes, he was screaming for a centre-back and he didn't get one, the reason why he didn't get one of the reasons as well is because they're also pricks. So, you know what I mean? It's one of those ones where like, it's one of those ones where like people saying to us, well, oh yeah, you sacked Jose before you didn't want a centre-back. It's like, no, because our board are bad anyway. So like, it's just those comments there, I just look at them, it's like, you're not saying anything. Like,
remember, people got to remember at that point at Man United, we were telling scouts with 20, 30 years experience that Phil Jones was as good as De Ligt. Like, whether you rate De Ligt or not, he's better than Phil Jones. And they were like, no, we've got Phil Jones. We don't need, like, that's what was going. We had Woodward telling Jose who better play, who's good or bad at football. We weren't, this is the point. There was non-footballing people making footballing decisions, and that's why we hemorrhaged so much money. We have spent, when people say, the Glazers, they did a great job, they spent that money. Listen, I'll tell you what's worse than not spending money is wasting money. Like, wasting money is a bigger crime, in my opinion, than not having it or not spending it. There's no doubt about it at all. A lot of people, I also love as well, just so everyone knows, I know we mentioned it earlier on in the stream, Sancho's salary has been revealed by a number of credible sources. It's $250,000 a week. Anywhere that's saying 300, 350, 400, they are lying, or they're adding things like image rights and potential bonuses on top of that. Don't fall for it. It's $250 a week. It is a large amount of money for normal people like us, working class people like us. But statistically, the most creative football player ever developed at his age in European football history, he's worth £250,000 a week. And that's a fact. No one has ever created as many goals as him in their first 3 seasons as a pro in a top 4 league ever. And I'm talking first 3 seasons from debut, not their first 3 seasons in Germany were when they were 26, 27, 28, and they did it. I'm talking from debut. Most creative young player ever produced in Europe. He's on very, very good money for a player that's as good as that. Listen, gents, I appreciate you all coming on and having your say. I'm sure there's going to be more. I get a feeling there's going to be a bit of breaking news later on tonight. We are going to be live at 9 p.m. tonight, previewing the quarterfinals of Euro 2020, which kicks off again tomorrow. Like, the last 2 days have been so exciting. I forgot there's an international tournament that's on. Of course, England and Spain and everybody else is in action over Friday and Saturday. So we'll be previewing those games with you from 9 o'clock. Ads, Cam, KJ, thank you all very much.
One more thing before you go.
Yep.
Man United, bring me Tavernier as backup right back for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. My FIFA GOAT, bro. My right back from FIFA, fam. We are bringing James Tavernier from Rangers, and then it'll be a 10 out of 10 window, fam. I'm telling you now.
Listen, there we go. We had a super chat actually just before we left. It says, sorry, but if the strategy was fixed, Man United's management would have went and bought Samari from Lille for 30 million like Leicester. Bashir, though, I think what you've got to take into consideration with that viewpoint is, did that profile of player fit what we need right now? Was that a priority signing? You may think it is, but Man United's plan, you've got to let them have their plan. And I think you have to be very mindful about how many young players you're developing at the same time. By the end of this summer, because Sancho will still be one of them, by the end of this summer, in terms of our first team, you're going to have Greenwood, Ahmad, Sancho still developing. I'm going to take Rashford and Martial out of development stages now because of their age. You've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka still developing as an example. That's 4 of your main squad that you're developing into better players. You start adding a 5th and a 6th and a 7th, it doesn't work. What Man United have done, look at some of the signings we've made. The Cavani's, the Brunos, the Maguires. These signings, each of them has elevated their particular role and their area on the pitch because they're in their mid-20s or older. They're experienced. Some of them have won major things before, as in Cavani, and it brings an adult level to that dressing room. Man United 2 years ago, our best players were our kids and our adults were lesser. It's hard, right? In life, imagine you're in the dressing room at 21 and all your elders are worse than you. It is harder to respect them. It legitimately is harder to respect them. Suddenly now you've got all these elder statesmen who are respected, who are brilliant, that are helping to lead and guide you along with the coaching. It's important. So you can't sign every top talented young player in the world. It's impossible. Otherwise, you'll never have a squad with anyone who's older than 21. So you sometimes have to allow these players to go elsewhere because you can't get them all. United have still got the like James Garner. We've got Alanga that's coming through. There's Ethan Laird. There's a number of young players. There's Hannibal. We've got all our own young players that we've got to find opportunities for within this first team. We can't just go and sign 3 or 4 more.
I also just don't trust these French players. Like, we can't trust these French players anymore. For me, like Pepe, We saw it happen. Who was that other guy that everybody was talking about? He went to Fulham. They're like, oh, this is a steal. Like a player like Sumari, a player like Sumari, he's probably just not United level. It's like, in my opinion, like when that's how I look at it. Like Ollie is not just going out and buying any player. He's clearly targeting players that fit United, like that are at that level. Sumari, I don't think any of us in here would be like going crazy if we sign this kid. I've never even watched him, so I can't talk shit.
Well,
But,
look,
like,
he could sign for Leicester and be a star. He could sign for Leicester, and we all sit there and go. And this is one thing you can always do, right? Just Google like 2019 Wonder Kids and go and look back, and you'll read names, be like, oh, I remember everyone said this guy was going to be like world class. Everyone kicked off that we didn't sign him, and who cares? Like, I know he's had a fairly good Euros, but when Man United didn't sign Renato Sanchez, the world went mental. Man United fans cried their eyes out. 2 years later, who was upset? Who tweeted and said I was wrong about Renato Sanchez? No one. They just kind of scuttled on. There's always a new young kid that you've got to sign that we have to have. I'm not saying Sumari isn't going to deliver, but to say that our process isn't fixed because we didn't sign one particular young player that you rate, I don't think is particularly fair. I saw someone said it in another stream about we should have signed Patson Daka if we know what we're talking about. What? And stop Greenwood developing. That is one of those signings that I look at and say that does directly stop Greenwood because he needs development as well. But listen, we've got defensive opinions. Bashir, thank you for that super chat. It means a great deal. Until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you. Actually, a super chat just come in before I said bye. I don't want to ignore it. Sorry. It says, if anything, United should be signing Ndidi now that Sumari has gone to Leicester. That's what big clubs do. And Geordie T, that may be part of the plan. Maybe that is part of the plan and why we're holding back from moving on in that area as well. Absolutely. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. Subscribe and turn on those notifications. More breaking news coming soon. We'll see you all again in a bit. Bye-bye.